If you've been living under a rock for the last 12 hours or 10 hours, you may not know that Rashee Rice is in some trouble again. You may not know that his dynasty value plummets to a near zero, meaning that I don't think anybody's trading for your Rashee Rice. And if you're trying to trade him away, I don't know what you're going to get for him. His value could be toast. Is there a chance that he comes out from all of this somehow? We'll talk about it. But his dynasty value, based off of the new allegations, if you haven't heard, there's his ex-girlfriend saying that there's been 8 years of abuse and she's tired of it, and she's coming forward with all the information. Now, timetables matter. He's on probation from that traffic incident on the freeway. And if any of this happened after that incident, he's cooked. If it happened beforehand, he still could be cooked. There's a whole lot to break down here. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Dynasty Edition begins right now.
You're watching a
Graveyard Stream.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Dynasty Fantasy Football Show.
Yeah, I see some of the comments. I think holding would be the best avenue for some of you. You're saying, I don't blame you for taking that approach. First and foremost, let me say that innocent till proven, two things. Innocent till proven guilty, but the NFL does not play by those rules. They play by innocent till proven guilty. You can still go on the commissioner exempt list paid. That's not judging the situation. It's putting you on it paid and then getting you out of there. But innocent till proven guilty in this country, which is an amazing thing, an absolute amazing thing. However, what does your character say? How does your character vouch for accusations coming at you when you were a coward and you ran off the freeway last time you caused a massive multi-million-dollar pileup and you left people potentially injured? You didn't even know if they were injured badly. You didn't know if they needed your help, and you ran with your entourage up the freeway to get out of there as fast as you could so you could get in the least amount of trouble possible. And so that type of behavior and antics do put people like us in a situation where we do need to make a judgment call because we got to react in fantasy. And I don't want to hear a single person say that we can't talk about this from a business perspective. This is the business that we conduct, and we can chew gum and talk at the same time. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. And so while we say that, yeah, this type of stuff's disgusting, false accusations are also disgusting. There could be two disgusting avenues here. One that we saw infect Isaiah Bond's career and also affect Judkins' career. And those situations appeared. We still don't fully know why things were dismissed or not. Charges were not brought. But regardless, those two individuals had their careers altered. And if in fact their situations were fabricated or not fabricated or partially true, not partially true, regardless, their careers were altered. Now, if this information is wrong, if it's fabricated, if it's not accurate, this is a shame. But he put himself in a position where we're here today judging this situation the best that we can so we can react and get ahead of it. And so from a dynasty perspective, you better damn well try and trade him away. Holding him is an okay option because you don't want to sell too low and these things end up not penciling out the way you think. I said on the other live stream, 90% of the time these things are a lot lesser situations at the end of the day because the NFL just doesn't judge it like we think they're going to. People kind of die down on their feelings about it and they don't get as mad, and the NFL lets that feeling die down a little bit, and then they make their lesser reaction than we initially thought they would. But with domestic, it's different. And for anybody that thinks that just because people settle and do things like that this can happen here, like, oh, he'll settle. No. Not with domestic. The moment it's domestic, the moment somebody says, yeah, we dated, and there's these accusations, investigations happen no matter what. Even if the accuser says, never mind, call back, doesn't matter. It's in the state's hands now. The DA will look into it and decide whether they want to prosecute or bring charges rather against a situation like this. It's not up to her anymore. So people need to understand it's not some sort of, they can all pull this all back and they can settle. It's not how it works. Anybody that says it doesn't know what they're talking about. So let's talk about this. File on in. Phone lines are open. I think DJ and Travis, we're going to chime in on this. What's the dynasty value? Would anybody give up I'm just curious where the line is for everybody. And you don't have to feel bad about yourself if you're like, oh, I would try and acquire them. Some of you might not want to own them in principle, and I get that. I respect that, but I can't be afforded that type of luxury. This is about value for me and for showing all of you what to do. But would everybody give up a 2.3 in a let's say 2026 capacity? We'll call it a 2.3 overall pick. I'd imagine most people would give up a 2.3, but there is kind of a negativity to it. Like, I could understand where somebody goes, I just don't want to go after him. I just don't want him on my team. I don't want to deal with this. Like, watch for it, keep alert, on the lookout for it, and then you're on your toes about it. Then you're wanting something to happen, and then you get disappointed or whatever. Like, I could understand where somebody could not want for their own sanity, not even out of principle, just be like, I don't want to deal with this. But it does feel like the consensus is saying they take Rice over the 2.3. I agree. Would someone take the 2.1 or Rashee Rice? Let's see what the chat wants to vote on this one. 2.1 or Rashee Rice? You remember the 2.1 is essentially the 1.13. So that's a second. It's a last pick in the first round. So vote
Unless
here.
You're trading it, then it's a second round pick.
Yeah.
That's
That's really a third round pick. Rice over 2.1. Okay, so a lot of you flipped the switch on the 2.1 and the 2.3. That's surprising. Majority of the chat is saying 2.3 is the cutoff. Did I just randomly pick the cutoff? That's wild. So I'm getting a few Rices, but a lot of people. Okay, can I get a new vote on this one? Rice or the 1.12? Let's see if there's a hard line on first rounder. Rice or 1.12? And keep in mind that people are saying that there's a difference here. Don't just ridicule that thinking, because some of it is about trade value. Trading a first rounder goes a long way versus trading a 2.1. As Travis just said, if you're trying to trade a first rounder and it's a 2.1, people are like, that's a second, bro. Whereas, you're trying to sell it as it's almost a first. So it is harder to trade a 2.1. So there is a big difference, a significant difference between 2.1 and 1.12. So far I have 1.12. I have Ricky says 1.10, something in a late first round. Okay, so it sounds like the 1.12 is winning. Travis, would you rather have the 1.12 or Rashee Rice?
1.12.
DJ, you're live. Would you rather have, and I'll get to you in a second, just looking for short answers here, and then I'll let you rant about it. 1.12 or Rashee Rice in Dynasty?
Rice.
Where's your cutoff in terms of draft pick? 1 point what?
That middle. That 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 112 is my cutoff, right? So if we're 1.8 to 12, 1.12. That's my cutoff. Yeah, right there.
What?
Yeah.
1.12?
Yep. That's where I would stop it.
So you take a 1.11, you take a 1.10 over Rice. Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I would not.
Oh.
Okay, I would not.
So where's the pick? Where do you take the last? Where's the pick enter the equation? 1.8, you said? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
1.8. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: Travis, would you rather have Rashee Rice or I'm just gonna throw out some names. Some of them are not gonna make sense, and I'm just gauging. This is like a polygraph. I'm just trying to get baselines. Rashee Rice or Benson, Arizona Cardinal running back.
I'd still take Rice.
Rice or Burden.
Burden.
Chat, Rice or Burden?
Burden.
Rice or Fannin? Just normal,
Fannin.
not premium, just normal scoring. Okay, Fannin.
Yep.
Rice
Positional
or
value Fannin.
what DJ?
Positional value Fannin.
Rice or Kyron in Dynasty? I think I know the answer, but some people don't value Kyron. I'm just curious.
Kyron.
Yeah, Kyron.
Yeah, I would too. But some people think Kyron's gonna plummet. Quorum's taking over, but whatever.
I'm
okay.
way lower than everyone on Rice.
Okay, how about this one? This one's where it's gonna get interesting. Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith.
DJ?
Smith.
Flowers, who, by the way, finishes what Travis, can you look up what number he finished at the end of that last game? Because I think every scoring is going to include week 18, so we have to be very careful when we rank or look up Flowers, because if we're including week 18, it makes him an entirely different receiver. But what did he finish with after week 18? Ended up being
was
5 or 6 probably.
Yeah, I think so. He was
This includes week 18. Right?
Seven including week 18.
Yeah, so he had 75 touchdowns.
Granted, that was almost 30 points. So.
Okay, how about this one? Let's get complicated here. Rice or let me think of it like this. Rice and Caleb. Or JD5 in Dynasty.
D5.
Single quarterback. JD5.
Rice or Bill.
Rice.
Yep, Rice.
Yeah, because we don't think that I like Bill in Washington. It's despicable.
What about JMO?
JMO or Rice? I would take JMO.
Yep.
But I understand why people wouldn't.
So with the
how about
pick,
Rice or Travis Hunter?
Travis Hunter.
Hunter. I'd take a chance on Hunter. And we're talking Dynasty tonight, so yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Wilson.
Michael Wilson. I'd take Michael Wilson.
Me too. Portland Sutton.
I'd probably take Rice because I don't like Sutton's the kind of guy you don't even know if you're starting.
Yeah, and so like with the picks, I feel like I could take like a late first and potentially go and get like an Olave or a Garrett Wilson rather than Rice, and I'd rather have them right now than Rice. But like I always say, I know it's like beating a dead horse or broken record, but just for transparency, I shy away from these situations. I shy away from injury. I'll take 80% of the ceiling for like half the risk or more than half the risk, less than half the risk. So that's my mindset on it.
I would say my general advice would be to trade Rashee Rice. to try to actively trade him. Because I don't know if
a decision now.
Yeah, you don't in Dynasty. I would just get rid of him. The one thing I would say is that we've had too many disappointing. Does this not feel ironically like Kadarius Toney? Like, you knew there was talent, there's potential there, but it just wasn't going to work, and you could smell it. And it's my fault for even that year liking Kadarius Toney, because I was very anti Kadarius Toney, and I flipped on a dime once, and I regret flipping because I was very anti at first. And then I was like, let's go all in. It feels very similar. This is just not going to work out. No matter what happens with this situation, something else is going to happen. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. If you can't get rid of him today, it's really hard to trade him. Keep trying. Get creative. Do some sort of like that Caleb Williams and Kadarius Toney, I almost called him, Rice and Caleb, to upgrade your quarterback slightly. Use him as an accoutrement or gravy to make a deal that doesn't really make sense happen. Take your Josh Jacobs and turn him into a safer running back by giving Rashee Rice for free. Turn your 1.2 into the 1.1. Turn your 1.8 into the 1.4. Do something to better your situation to get somebody you wouldn't be able to get by using Rashee Rice. I just don't think it's going to work out. I don't get crazy and just get rid of him to the highest bidder. But if you can make a significant difference, like I said, if you can't answer yes to this, you're doing the wrong trade. I am not saying just trade him no matter what. I'm saying keep working at it until you get the right deal done. If someone you come back to me and say, Smitty, you told me to trade him and I got rid of him and I only got this, I'm going to tell you it's your own fault. I'm not giving you a license to trade him to the highest bidder, but keep trying until the right deal comes along, because I don't think you got to find, it's got to be a deal where you're getting somebody you wouldn't be able to get. Like, this is like a revolutionary move for your team. But I just think that this is going to be nonstop disappointment. The knee injury by his own quarterback, the off the field issue. Now this, if he escapes this, what's next? He's on probationary probation. Like, what are you going to do? Get rid of this guy. Get rid of him.
At the beginning of the show, Tia Flyer was saying he got offered the 2026 1.9. And my first gut thing was to wait, a couple weeks and see what else comes out.
I'd take it.
But do you think he should take that?
I think he should take it. I think he should run and take it.
Me personally, if I got the 1.9, I would then be trying to take it and flip it for, like I said, an Olave or something, or put it with another player on my team and flip it for something bigger.
The problem is, what if this gets worse tomorrow morning? The only thing is, if there's a big difference here. There's a big difference here between this and like Judkins and this and Isaiah Bond. This, we have a actual baseline of behavior that we've seen ourselves that's not trustworthy behavior, and reckless behavior and just being a moron. And we also have a history of disappointment now to the third level of this thing. And then on top of that, we have a history of the wide receivers in KC being a complete wreck. I mean, look from Tyreek Hill even leaving and being a wreck and not knowing what was up and what was down. I mean, he left the most lucrative position he could have left to what? Because he was messed up in the head. And then you got Kadarius Toney, and then now you got this. Like, this is nonstop with KC. Nonstop. Like, Veach is good finding talent, but he's got to do something different at wide receiver. This is insane. And then the other thing that I would be looking at is, even if he escapes this and you go, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have taken the 1.9. Now he's not going to get in trouble. When does the next thing happen? And on top of that, it's like the difference between this and Bond and this and the Judkins situation is that we have someone claiming 8 years of this. And I promise you, almost promise you, some of it is true at the very least. Because his behavior, where there's smoke, there's a fire that's usually been burning for 8 years. And if she's saying there's 8 years of this, they're finding something. And at the end of the day, if there's 8 years of this, that is a pattern that he can't break himself, and he'll be in this situation again. He could. This is the kind of person that you could say, bro, you got to get your head on straight. It doesn't matter what you tell him. He doesn't know how to act. He's not going to know how to put his head on straight. Are you kidding me? There's no, oh, this is a good moment for me to decide what to do with my life. This is a guy that only knows how to behave the way he behaves. And like a coward running down the freeway with his entourage after they cause a big $1 million car pileup and they leave people potentially injured and they don't run to help him at all. That's a coward. He's a coward. And this behavior, the accusations match with that. And even if it doesn't, and this is just my opinion, I don't know if they're true accusations or not, but he's a coward. And we know that to be true. So this is coward accusations, of him being a coward. Even if he gets out of it, we're still looking at a person that's on probation, that acts the way he acts, that has somebody saying there's 8 years of this stuff. And you don't think we're going to stumble into something else? I mean, I would just get rid of him. Sell him. Again, you do not sell him to the highest bidder. You keep trying, but you got to get creative. People that tell me I tried to trade him, you didn't try. You thought you tried, but you didn't even really do anything. You offered a 1-for-1. You called up somebody and said, I'll take your T. Higgins for Rice, and you gave up. You tried to trade him for the 1.4, and you gave up. Like, you can go for the 1.9, 1.10, 1.11. I think anything in the first round, 1.12, you could potentially try and, move an older Kittle for a young upcoming tight end and give up Rice for another kind of throw-in player that you kind of quietly like. You could do some creative 2-for-2 like that. You could trade him. Someone might have Fannin and Loveland. Someone might have Fannin and Kittle. Someone might have Bowers or McBride and Fannin. Trade him for Fannin. There's so many potential options. You've got Charbonnet, who's not a starting running back right now. Throw him out there for Charbonnet. Try and solve your running back 2 problem. Trade him with another player to upgrade slightly to one other player. Example, let's say you have Caleb Williams and Rashee Rice and somebody that has freaking Lamar Jackson's really down on Lamar Jackson. Not a bad idea to just say, look, Lamar Jackson has the potential to win you a league single-handedly. Now, maybe he has the potential to fold and never be the same player again, but I would take that risk versus the Rice risk. If you're put in a box and you must choose a risky option, then go after a riskier option that you like a little better. Lamar Jackson's a fun risk to take in a 1 QB. And if you got to throw in a quarterback and Rice to get Lamar, you do it. Very easy to get out of this situation. You negative Noahs that say, I can't trade him. I tried. I could trade him in a couple days. You just have to get creative. You got to give somebody something that they feel like they're literally getting something for free. You got to explore every avenue because someone might love Lamar. Lamar might not be an option for you in your league. You might have Lamar already. Guess what? Doesn't work for you then, right? Well, there's other avenues to explore. The Charbonnet angle. Moving from the 1.5 to the 1.3. Moving from the 1.4 to the 1.3 because there's a huge difference. You got to think big and say, you know what? This is a player, a cornerstone player that I can't get if I don't make this trade. You're not getting Jordan Tyson or, maybe Makai Lemon. You could even say 1.4 is your cutoff. If Lemon's your guy, you could say Lemon, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, and Love are the exclusive top 4 rookies. And if you're sitting at 6 or 5, is it worth it to move up and get a guy that you can't get unless you throw Rice into a deal? And I'm not saying you end it there. You try and make it a 2-for-2. You try and see if somebody's hanging on to a player that you kind of like that they don't think has got any shot of ever being worth anything, or at least to the degree. So you're trying to make it as valuable as you can get. But I'm getting rid of this kid, and I just don't trust him. I don't want him on any of my rosters. Now, I did send an offer out in a Dynasty League just to test the value. I sent Benson for him to see if that would, because then I'll flip him. I have no problem acquiring him to flip him again. But I just wanted to see if that would get accepted. And honestly, if he accepted it, there's reason that Benson's going to outperform Rice. Rice could never play again. We don't know. But I was curious, and I threw it out in the Dynasty League as an experiment. What?
Benson could be the guy. We still don't know. There's just question marks around it.
And if that gets accepted, my advice, I'm following my own advice. I'm sending Rice off. It's going to be complicated. I did it to see if it was an experiment. If it happens, it might be a headache that I wished I didn't take on, because if I can't get rid of Rice, I'm going to be trying to get rid of him all year. It's going to be in my head. I'm going to be constantly monitoring the news. Like, it might be a mess if he accepts it. It might piss me off. But I'm curious to know if that value gets rejected or what the response would be. DJ, tell me your long, or go ahead, Travis, real quick, and then over to DJ for his long.
No, go to DJ.
He was gonna. Okay, DJ, you were wanting to speak on this. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that it's great points. As I'm sitting here listening to you guys, the only thing I could think about is control what you can control, and that is moving them. This way, you're not subjected to whatever may happen, right? So I think you got some good points. And Travis, from your perspective and how you look at things, that makes perfect sense, i.e. injuries, recurring incidents. But even if you're not that type of person, you can only control what you can control. Whatever happens, we have no idea. So if you don't want to, like you were saying, Smitty, if you don't want to be stuck in that, in that concern, yeah, you move them. And I think your idea about moving up, let's just say, you're 1-5. You want to try and get up to 2, 3, because this rookie draft class, and again, I'm going to defer to you guys as we go along. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm not too sure how deep it is.
It's not deep at all, but I think people give, and I don't want to rank them necessarily because I got those videos upcoming. I'm still recording them tonight, and hopefully I can drop the on the main channel, not the Dynasty channel. The Dynasty channel, I'm going to do individual videos on all the rookies. On the main channel, I'm doing a lot of the mock drafts and a lot of the rankings, running back rankings video, wide receiver rankings video. But for the most part, you have Love, and Love is in his entire tier by himself. You've got Tate in no particular order. You got Lemon, who some people like as the second overall player and the first wide receiver. Tate, some people like Tate, and then you got Tyson, this Arizona State wide receiver. This is kind of the tiers. It's tier 1 and it's tier 2. It's not even tier like 1B. It's tier 1, huge tier. You could almost put 2 tier break lines in between Love and this other group. Like, there's nothing in this middle of this tier. Like, this could be tier 1, tier 2, and then this is actually tier 3. But regardless, if we just call it tier 2, this is it. Like, once you get past this, you are waiting for, and I have some ideas of some guys that can kind of not necessarily get into this tier, but grab onto the bottom of it and dangle and say, I'm here. And there's 1, 2, 3 guys that could be, I don't want to say A-chans of the group, because I'm not even speaking to the style of play or anything, but just A-chan was not thought to be a tier 1 guy from his draft class whatsoever. He was an exciting guy that everyone and their mother doubted through 2 seasons of whether he could be a starting running back in the league and handle the workload. So imagine what the scouting, Scotty said about him. Everybody doubted Achane to the moon. For 2 years, we beat a drum on Achane being a top 5 running back in the National Football League. It took 2 years of people saying, okay, finally, I agree with you. So, like, just saying that 1 or 2 of the players that I'm going to talk about in the next few weeks might be able to become as good as Tate, Tyson, Lemon, maybe just below Love. And they could be running backs or wide receivers. But for right now, it is this 4. Yeah. It's not a deep class, though. It's not. There probably are 4 or 5 guys I like from this class. I think we're not going to have this class infiltrating the top 25 overall very, very frequently. Just these 4 guys are possible. I don't think all 4 of them will infiltrate the top 25 or 30 overall in Dynasty, but at least 1, 2, or maybe 3 could. Like this group is this good, but then it drops off. Except for these outliers that can try and, with situation, climb back in. It's definitely weaker overall.
Or then, with that said, then maybe you're moving, like you were saying, as well as Travis, you're moving a pick and Rice for a player. What did you mention? Olave, Travis? Something like that?
That was one guy just off the top of my head.
Right.
That was when I was saying, like, I thought rather than trade, or when he was asking, would you rather have the 1.12 or Rice? I said, I feel like I could take like the late first rounder and put it with something else and go get Olave. Some people would give up Olave for a first rounder alone, but maybe not this year.
Exactly. I don't think they do that. And that's why I was saying that, I would keep, for Rice at 112, 10, I'm keeping him. And if I can move him, with a pick or something like that, then fine. I just don't know that this draft class is that deep, and what you're getting at 112, 11, and 10.
It isn't deep.
And again, we're early. Yeah.
It isn't deep, but I mean, you can still trade a 1.11 for a lot more. Not to mention the 1, 2, or 3 of those players that I said could get in there. You still could land one of those guys with the 1.11 or whatever. So there's still a couple outliers that they need situation. Mm-hmm. My fear is that the situation will then make them the 1.5 lock or the 1.6 lock, and then so your 1.11 still won't get the guys I like. But it's still, I don't know. I mean, I guess you're not. No one's crazy to want to keep Rice over the 1.11. Let's say, I don't think it's nuts. I would take the 1.9. I think I would take the 1.12 because I think I could flip that better. I'm afraid that a lot of people that get Rice, there's only going to be about 2 or 3 dancing partners to trade for Rice, and if they don't want to do it or there's nothing that can get done between those teams, then you're stuck. So if I had the 1.12, I believe I could take this and a future 2028 first and take these 2, add them together, and go get something along the lines of like the 1.3 or whatever, 1.2 or 1.1, of course. Or I could get a player to the tune of.
You could maybe get Ibuka for like the 1.12 right now. 1.9.
Travis, I
would do it.
I'd try and trade Buka for Rice right now.
Yeah.
Or Rice for Buka. That's probably the best idea that we've talked about all night. Because you want to go get those doubted Donnies. So doubted Buka. Who else is super doubted right now?
Well, you mentioned Lamar as a doubted player.
Yeah,
it's a different position, but that's a great one.
Yeah, Lamar. My Lamar idea and Travis's Buka suggestion here are probably the 2 best single individual player ideas so far. Injured Mahomes, which is probably a really good idea. Let's see here. Brock Bowers, you could not get for Rice straight up, but you might be able to do a package that you wouldn't have been able to do. So I think Bowers is somebody that's super doubted right now. Genty too. Again, you're not going to get Genty straight up, but these are players that I'll underline them that you need to give a boatload with, but they're vulnerable. Josh Jacobs is very doubted right now. People don't know if he's even the starter anymore.
I know you mentioned Kyron. How do you feel about like Kyron, Etienne, Brees, guys like that? Do you think any of them are feasible?
Hall could be. Scadaboo's injured right now. You could look to that. You could go after. Let's see here.
RJ Harvey.
Yeah, especially if that doesn't go well volume-wise for him.
In the playoffs, yeah.
I think Buka's maybe the best option in Lamar. I like these.
Yeah, I like those two a lot.
Again, Bowers and Genty are going to require a whole lot more, but I'm just saying you can get a seat at the table by throwing in Rice with another player now. And you wouldn't have done it a week ago, but a week ago is not today. Today's price is different than yesterday's price, and Bowers is very doubted. Genty's very doubted. People hate the Raiders, and I think you're certainly going to be able to get in a conversation you couldn't have with Rice being added to another two for one. Jacobs would be interesting, although I don't even like Jacobs in Dynasty for the future. So like I'm almost like tempted to say that might not even work out either. So maybe don't go that route. I think. Yeah,
JD5 isn't bad either. Someone said that.
Yeah, I was going to chime in with JD5. He's injured, but
MHJ
injured or not. Yeah,
MHJ is a good one because we were talking about how risky he is, but I'll take MHJ risk all day versus Rice's risk right now.
What about Ladd? Someone said Ladd.
Ladd ends. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I you know what I think it's a real risky play, but I'm okay with that. These are, I take back what I said that you're not going to get a lot of 1-for-1s done. Maybe you will. Again,
well, I think you can if you don't want to pick.
Yeah.
If you're in the later rounds or something like that, like you were saying, the Rice is kind of a throw in because I would buy a pick and a Rice. I'm getting the pick and the Rice plus or something. In that late one or whatever the case may be. It's like, I'm kind of good at receiver. And, not to mention maybe only one quarterback there's maybe two quarterbacks in the first round? Maybe three?
Two if more comes out. Maybe Simpson.
Okay. So, and that definitely has some value, so they probably would fall where? What do you think? 8, 9? And again, that's not talking about just in terms of positional value. You need a quarterback on your dynasty team. There's Fernando and more. Let's say he does come out. Are you taking them 9, 10 over whatever's on the board in terms of this draft class? Just a thought.
Yeah. This again is so everybody knows you're adding way more to Bowers and Genty. I'm not expecting you to get that. I'm just saying you're opening the door. Mahomes, Ladd, Hall, Buka, Lamar, MHJ, BTJ, JD5. These are all potential 1-for-1s. And even if you had to throw like a second rounder in or something to get it done,
exactly.
I would definitely overpay a little bit to sidestep into a different player. My favorites are Buka, Lamar. Buka's so doubted right now. I think you could trade Rice for Buka right now. I really do. In fact, I'm going to go into the Dynasty League where I have hopefully that person's not watching right now. Let me see if I can trade him. Let me see. I have him in. Let me see what league it is. I'm going to trade him right now. Where are you? Where are you, little buddy? Where are you, little buddy?
Do it live.
What league do I have him in? I offered a deal for Rice the other day. I need to check and make sure I might need to take that offer down. It might be still sitting there. I got to find what league that was in. Where are you, little buddy? Oh, damn it. Oh, I got to move this league over to, I think I might be co-commissioner of this league. It's got to move over to the new season. Why isn't it prompting me to do that?
So let's say they move off of Rice. It comes out that, or they just say, you know what, like you were talking about, listen, we're just going to part ways. Do they draft a receiver? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about earlier, Tate or Tyson or Lemon.
Earlier.
Yeah, we broke. I mean, I know you didn't probably see that part, but we broke down.
It wasn't on Dynasty.
No.
That or and unless they, like we said, they could go line at 9, but then that probably means they, go, second or third round receiver, or they sign, Wandale or Pierce or Juwan Jennings or.
Yeah, there's a world where they I don't know. It would suck if they did do this, but let's say I don't think they'll slow roll Mahomes back because of this. Like if let's say Bryce was out, I don't think they would do that. I don't think they'd even consider it. But you do wonder if they are thinking about a 2-year window. And maybe they make decisions around that. Like, let's go offensive line now. We're not going to necessarily even go after a big name wide receiver. And then the next draft, and maybe we really like someone, or there's a free agent that we could really go all in on. But I think that if this was me, I could fix it right now. I would take, personally, I would take Jeremiah Love here. I wouldn't even hesitate. That's no doubt about it in my mind. I mean, you still got Worthy. You could bring in Wandale. Wandale and Worthy and Jeremiah Love is pretty damn good. But you could also, Travis said Goddard. You could go after Goddard.
Don't rule out trading for an Odunze or a Lad or something like we talked about.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. That if it was me, I could fix it in 1 calendar year. I could fix it this offseason. So I draft Jeremiah Love, and if he's gone, then I take one of Tate or Tyson specifically. I like Lemon, I just don't love Lemon like everybody else. And then I bring in. I try and trade for Pickens. I try and trade for Odunze. I try and trade for BTJ. I try and trade for MHJ. I'd make all those offers that could maybe get me that player. Odunze probably I think would be the cheapest because they drafted the guy 9 and they're not using him anywhere near number 9. So if you start giving them the feeling that they could get some of that value back, they'd probably take it. But you'd have to make sure it wasn't like, oh, we'll give him away for free. Then they're gonna be like, no, we invested the 9 overall pick on him. But if you're like, hey, I'll give you a second rounder for him, I have a feeling they'd be like, well, okay. And honestly, Odunze to me is worth the second rounder. If you take him 9 overall, the amount of time that's gone by, I don't think this is like driving a vehicle off the lot and you lose $5,000. This is one of those, like the resale values the same as when you drove it off the lot. Yeah, this is a Toyota. And so, I firmly believe I could fix it through that means. And if I had to go after a running back, it would be Breece Hall or ETN. Dowdle would be a 1-year stopgap measure that I'd be fine with, but I would say ETN or Breece Hall, or I got to create a running back board so we can switch over to that. But yeah, those would all be pretty easy options with the rookie receiver. So if I could get myself a Carnell Tate or a Jordan Tyson, who could be elite wide receiver ones. They're not even just like okay receivers. They're really, really good prospects. And then you mix that with ETN or Breece Hall, that's fixed. Now you'd have to still spend time on the offensive line, but that's what you got the other picks for, even if you don't have a ton of them. And you got all free agency to get this done. Like there's a lot of players that are available, and you could still make other trades if you needed to. Not to mention that the Chiefs are really good at non-wide receiver talent gathering. They're not good at wide receivers. They grab the same type of receiver. Troublemaker, Kadarius Toney, Rice. I just don't understand it, Maybe Worthy develops too. I don't know.
Chiefs and the Patriots, they can't get receivers.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Travis, because we were talking about that a couple of nights ago in terms of even getting number ones. And it's like, me's that good. Like, get open. And I think sometimes maybe the front office GMs are like, well, we have Pat Mahomes, we have Josh Allen, we have Drake May, we'll just get something that's kind of decent, but they have tried, right? Have they just been missing in New England?
Well, yeah, I think this regime might be a little different. I'm giving them a chance, but like they traded the pick that was Lad McConkey to the Chargers. They could have taken Ladd right there, and they decided to take Jalen Polk picks later. So they constantly do that. And Belichick did it for years. Could have had A.J. Brown, could have had Devo, could have had DK. I mean, the list is just forever. So we'll see what this group does. They have a chance to change that, but in the past they've missed left and right.
Yeah, and that's what makes me think that sometimes these teams put so much emphasis on their QBs, especially when they're that good, that it's like
they take it for granted. Yeah.
I'm looking at more of this these photos and stuff that she posted, and again, the thing I want to say here is anybody could post photos, anybody could fabricate stuff. So I'm not saying that this convinces me or anything, but his behavior and who he is. I mean, we pretty much know that he's not somebody we can trust, right? I mean, he's a guy that left injured people on a freeway, that he caused a big accident. He ran away like a coward. So, how are we trusting his word? I'm not saying he's guilty, but I'm saying I don't trust him. He says he didn't do it. I don't trust him. Why would I?
He doesn't get the benefit.
Why would anybody trust him? All right, boys, I think I'm out of here for tonight. DJ, any final thoughts? Thank you guys for being here tonight. Please subscribe to the Dynasty channel. And also, please give a few of the other videos a watch if you haven't seen them yet, because we just need a little bit more watch time. Not views necessarily, but the actual watching of the videos. They measure it by watch time. I just want to, we legitimately want you to watch it. I just want you to take a gander if you haven't at the other videos, because if we just get a little bit more, I think we get the super chats and the ads and the lights turned back on in here, because we didn't do anything for 9 straight months. And so we got to kick things off again, but it won't take long. But please do give a few videos a watch if you haven't seen some of them. And there's a lot of good Dynasty content that we posted the last couple days, but we'll be trying to do a Dynasty live stream or an upload almost every single day on this channel, as we try and make this channel rival the main channel. It's going to be fun to do. It's going to be, I think at least could get to halfway. I really do. In 1.5 years, I think it could be half the size of the main channel. So I'm excited about it. So please give it a watch. Let's get the super chats and mainly gifted memberships too. If you guys want to get the gifted memberships and people come in and drop those, we just need to have just a little bit more of the videos watched here in the next week or so, and then we should be back to normal. DJ, go ahead. Final thoughts.
Let me add to that as I close out. So I'm 56, been fantasy for years, football, all of that, love it. This is the best show on the planet, and Smitty as the MC. So if you guys are just kind of coming across this or tuning in to the Dynasty piece, definitely, cross over and check out his, the Fantasy Football Show channel. I have very seldomly, I've called in radio shows, but I don't typically engage. It's not that I think I'm better or anything along those lines. I just maybe kind of feel like I'm not welcome, or my opinion doesn't matter. So, best show on the planet. Oh, plug in. In addition to that,
you saying other places?
In addition to that, plug into the community, the Patreon.
You don't feel that way on the main channel, you're saying?
Oh, no. What I'm saying is, this is the best show on the planet. The other channels I don't even tune into.
I thought you were saying you felt better on the Dynasty channel than the main channel.
Oh, no. No. Just overall, the Dynasty piece, definitely check out the Dynasty piece. But, the man put some work. So what I was saying was, just to be clear, I wasn't, to those who are listening.
Yeah.
I've never engaged with anything or anyone, and I've been at this fantasy and watching the fantasy different shows. And that's basically because I never felt like my opinion would matter.
Well, it matters.
See?
It matters.
So, when you have a forum like this and what he's putting down, you can take advantage of it, So, please do, check him out. Oh, thank you.
Right.
And also join the Patreon community.
Join it. Do it live. Here's the Patreon link. The Patreon's 24/7 live chatting. It's just a 24/7 running chat. You can jump in and go, guys, I need to make a trade. Help me, help me. Someone's offering me a ham sandwich for Rashee Rice. Should I take it? 24/7, 365 live chat, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Try it. It's a cup of coffee. Worth getting your live chat on. All right, DJ.
And we have a good squad.
We do.
Best show on the planet. Later,
right,
guys.
Later. Travis, final thoughts
Later.
here.
Yeah, just like in the midst of chaos like this, you can really take advantage of situations. And as you can see, like some people still aren't caught up on what's going on with the Rice situation too. So, throw trades out there for something, really valuable, and never know who's going to say yes, who might think they're getting a great deal,
I'm going to conclude the live stream with this piece of advice right here. If you have Rashee Rice, trade him for Buka or Lamar. These are two of the most doubted players in fantasy right now that should live so well above their current market value. If you got to throw in a second rounder to get it done, Rice in a second for Buka, Rice in a second for Lamar, Rice in a quarterback for Lamar, you do it. I'm telling you. And if you got to throw in a quarterback that makes it off balance in the other direction, then you ask for the second rounder. You do something like that. But I'm telling you, these feel like the very best buy low values. Buka, Lamar for Rice. I would do it live. Travis? Good advice on the Buka one. Like that. All right, later, bro.
Bye.
Damn, Rashee, bro. What's Rashee doing? Good thing I didn't make that Rashee Rice video. Because it would have been a waste of time. Husseini, if you're out there, that was the one that Husseini wanted. Give me another video that you want, and I'll create it. Because I'm not creating a Rice video now. If I did, it would be something that would be not good for him. Rice and Penix for Lamar, I'd do it. I'd take Lamar and run, Caps. I'd take Lamar and mother freaking run. I think it's the move. Lamar feels even better than Buka in some ways for that because it's such a difference maker. It's such a big trade. Like Lamar getting a new head coach and everything they're going to try and do to rework that and build that team back up. I'm really excited for Lamar 2026. I'm not saying I'm going to overpay by any means, but it's certainly a good buy low. Remember how good he was just 1 year prior. All right, guys. See you all later. Please, again, watch as many of the shows that you haven't seen yet just to get the channel pumping again. Because I have a feeling if you guys all did your part, everybody goes and watches something, I think we'd have the lights turned back on within a day or two. So thank you very much. We'll be doing a show or a live stream, an upload or a live stream at least roughly once a day. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday on the main channel. The link is in the description. Or if you just on any of my homepages on YouTube, like if you're on my Dynasty channel, the main YouTube page of my Dynasty channel, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see the other channel. So if you ever want to toggle between the two channels, the Dynasty and the main channel, all you got to do is go to the homepage of my YouTube on either channel and scroll to the bottom and you'll see the other channel. So you can always toggle back and forth between the two at the bottom of my main YouTube homepage. See you all tomorrow. Deuce.